Hello, I'm Rebecca of Orange Korea, telling you everything about Korea. Many people think about tourist route, transportation, and accommodation reservation before visiting Korea. By the way, there is something more important than looking into sightseeing course and transportation facilities. That is to investigate the culture of the country. In particular, it is necessary to be aware of several taboos in advance. So I prepared this. Today's topic is 8 things you should never do in Korea. First, Koreans don't greet each other with physical contact like trick kiss. When you want to greet Koreans, you just give them a slight and friendly nod without physical contact. In Korea, many people are reluctant to greet each other with a kiss on the cheek. Especially if you meet someone older than you, don't say hello with physical contact. If you do, you suddenly become a rude person. Second, when Koreans receive things from people older than them, they don't accept them with one hand. When exchanging goods with seniors, Koreans always put hands together. In Korean culture, it is considered polite behavior. If you come to Korea to study, you should always use both hands when exchanging things with your university professor. Korea had a culture of respecting people older than me. Third, buses and subways in Korea have a seat for the elderly and the weak. Never sit there unless you are the elderly. When you take the bus or subway in Korea, you can see pink chairs. It is only for pregnant women. Only pregnant women can sit down, and there are yellow chairs. It is a designated seat for the elderly, children, and sick. Also, there is a space that needed to be left as an empty space. It is a space for disabled people who use public transportation in wheelchairs. If you use public transportation in Korea, please don't sit in seat for the elderly and pregnant women. And when you take public transportation in Korea, don't use cash, but make sure to use transportation card. For more information on transportation card, please look at the top of the screen. First, smoking is prohibited in most buildings in Korea. If you are a smoker, you shouldn't smoke anywhere. In Korea, smoking areas are designated. Smoking outside of the area is subject to a fine of 100,000 won under Korean law. Smoking is prohibited not only in buildings but also in many streets. You can smoke recklessly on the street. If you are a smoker, you should smoke only in the smoking area, even if you are uncomfortable. And there's one more important thing. You shouldn't smoke together with elders. If you sit smoking together with a senior citizen, Koreans think you are rude. Fifth, you should separate trash in Korea. You can't throw away trash recklessly in Korea. You must put trash in a garbage bag and throw it away. Koreans use different bags for general trash and food waste. Recycled materials should be separated from general waste and thrown away. Garbage bags are purchased at nearby supermarket. Even on the street, make sure to separate the garbage into trash bins of different colors. 6. In Korea, people don't make noise when eating. Eating and making sound. Is there a causal relationship between them? Imagine eating with a munching sound. You have to open your mouth wide to make a noise. If you open your mouth wide, food may come out of your mouth unconsciously. When the food I ate falls on the table, the person I ate with may feel uncomfortable. That's why Koreans don't eat with the mouth wide open. It's just courtesy to the other person. 7. Don't stick a spoon into rice during the meal. The reason is simpler than you thought. Koreans stick spoon into rice bowl only when they hold ancestral rites for the dead. It is taboo in Korea to put spoon into rice bowl in front of living people. 8. In Korea, you should not pour alcohol to the other person with your left hand. I think this is probably due to prejudice against left-handed people. In the past, there was a time in Korea when right-handed people were considered normal. For that reason, left-handed people practice using their right hand. The way to pour alcohol is also due to this prejudice. At this time, prejudice against the left-handed people had disappeared, but people still seem to think you should use your right hand when pouring alcohol. Similar drinking etiquette is pour alcohol to seniors with both hands together. You just have to memorize it. If they are older than you, just put your hand together and pour alcohol. When you receive a drink, you also put your hand together to receive it. Today, we'll look at 8 things you should never do in Korea. I'll organize quickly from now on. First, Koreans don't greet each other with physical contact like trick kiss. Second, when Koreans receive things from people older than them, they don't accept them with one hand. Third, buses and subways in Korea have a seat for the elderly and the weak. Never sit there unless you are the elderly. First, smoking is prohibited in most buildings in Korea and you shouldn't smoke with elders. Fifth, you have to separate the trash in Korea. Sixth, in Korea, people don't make noise when eating. Seventh, don't stick a spoon into rice during the meal. Eighth, in Korea, you should not pour alcohol to the other person with your left hand. And you pour alcohol to senior with your both hands together. Was today's content useful? So far, this has been Orin Korea's real Korean woman Rebecca, who tells you everything about Korea. Subscription and alarm settings are love. Please press like it. That's it, the end.